Well, our good form has continued at Southend United, and for the first time in this save, we have reached the summit of the National League table. Today, though, our initial focus is on League One opposition before we play a former Premier League side in a National League game. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 12 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today to face Salford City, a side in the top half of the League One table, away from home in the FA Cup second round. We also face Oldham Athletic away in a big game in the National League. They might well be down in 6th place, but they are only 9 points behind us with 20 games played. As you can see, we have just gone top by a point. Chesterfield doing okay at Hartlepool as well, but Altrincham have started to drop off, as we perhaps expected would happen eventually. So if you're looking forward to all of that and seeing how we get on, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. It promises to be an exciting episode. We could well reach the third round here, but it's going to be a bit tricky because Lewis Page is still out injured long term. Marcus Dacker's ineligible on loan from Salford City, who we face of course, but they've got a fair few players out as well, and we are in the richest vein of form. If I show you the 4 games since you were last here, very convincing performances across the board. You saw the 2-1 win against Chesterfield. We got a great result at Yeovil. Then thankfully we had a week off. And this game's a bit weird against York on the 9th of November. We won it 5-3. I kid you not, it is the best performance we have produced in this year's game. The first time we broke 5 expected goals. And if you have a look at it, York scored a couple of screamers and a tap in. We got an expected goals of almost 7. 17 shots on target, a brilliant display. Honestly, one of my favourite games to watch going forward. We look so cohesive, and some of those passing patterns we mentioned in the previous episode were really popping up there for all to see. Against Newport County, we were perhaps even more impressive in a different way. We were gritty and we hung on for a 1-0 win away at a very good National League side. Harry Cardwell got the goal just before the break, and then look at the defensive performances second half. The back 5 bar Kingdom were all brilliant, and normally he's the best one, so it was a lovely turnaround to have. But a clean sheet, a big 1-0 away win, always the best type to have. And that's a few times now this year. We've won away games by the odd goal. And the same happened at Harrogate the game after. We played both relegated sides back to back. Could have been tricky. Was proving to be that way after 70 odd minutes. We went 1-0 down early. We couldn't find a way back in. And that's where you have to take a gamble sometimes. With about 25 minutes to go, we made the changes. We went 2 up front. Leighton Stewart came on up front, he scored a goal. Callum Powell came on right wing, scored a goal. You don't always get that luck as a manager, but on that occasion, it just worked out perfectly. So a big win in that one, and then a comfortable 3-1 at home to Ebbsfleet. 2-0 up before a red card. Yes, they got a late goal from a free kick, but Marcus Dackers made it comfortable with a late penalty. We were able to rest people with 20 odd minutes to go, and it was a really good display. We were dominant throughout. And I'm just really enjoying managing this team at the minute. I feel like while playing completely different tactics in different ways and different styles of play, we are starting to find our form with FM24. And we're starting to get settled at different clubs. So here at Southend, things looking good. But this is a very tough run of games now. Salford away, top half of League One. Oldham and Hartlepool away, both in the playoffs. Filed at home, a good side. But then over Christmas, Chesterfield, what a game that's going to be. Boreham Wood, who beat us on the opening day. We got lower league opposition in a bit of a banana skin in the FA Trophy the game before. So I'm really looking forward to this run. We are still unbeaten since the 3rd game of the season against Chesterfield. That tricky start where we had 1 point from 3 games. It looks a very long way away now, doesn't it? We've got a brilliant opportunity to succeed. We've been picking up good points or wins away from home. And at home we look absolutely dominant. 2 away games today means we are going to be setting up a bit more cautiously, a bit more defensively. And as I promised in the last episode, we didn't have any more big injuries, there wouldn't be any more big additions. So no players do come in since the last one, but we do have a couple out. Danny Hilton was discussing terms with Braintree last time. He did move on officially. He's doing okay there as a sub in the National League South. Or are they in the North actually? They're in the North. And then Tom Windsor Sinclair is one of our young players from our youth intake last year. He's got a good personality and he's developing okay. So he's gone on loan to the division below the playable leagues. And he's playing for Mersham, where so far he's done very well. So looking forward to seeing how he develops. But overall, everything's going rosy, both on and off the pitch. The finances are magnificent. If we can get through this round of the FA Cup, I'm going to start asking for things like facility and youth recruitment upgrades because we've got to start focusing on the off the pitch stuff. Financially, we're secure. The new owner has made us stable. We're flying high on the pitch, not spending all of the money and doing a really good job. So let's go and get through to the fixtures. It is the FA Cup second round. We were heartbroken last year from 3-1 up against Cambridge United, but this time the task is trickier. Away to a top half side in League One that have spent most of the season floating around the playoffs. They've got good players. They have rotated a bit for this one though, so I'll be interested to see how we do. Curtis Tilt is a big name at the back. They've got Ross McCrory in midfield, Luke Bolton, the former Luton loanee, and Luke Garbett, the former Everton player, are the fullbacks here. They're playing 3-5-2. We're going to take a risk in the middle. We're playing our normal tactic, which means 2 in midfield, but an extra man out wide on each side, which I'm hoping will both tame their goal threat and the crosses into the big men, but also give us an opportunity to have an attacking threat ourselves. We are still focusing on the league as the priority. The big game against Oldham is on Tuesday night, so it's not like we can be too blasé with the team we picked today. I've gone fairly strong, but with a little bit of Tuesday in mind. So Luke Matheson was just about fit, but Scott Morris is better defensively. Matheson is at risk of injury. It makes sense to keep him out there. I've gone for young Parker at centre-half, who's just not been able to stay fit. He's been on international duty. He's then been struggling with injury. He's in today at the expense of Kensdale, who's 1 yellow card from a suspension. Same at left wing-back with Ferry dropping in, Mooney coming in place of Haynes. And then what we'll do in midweek, hopefully, is play Haynes instead of whichever one's most tired. Hilton's in on the right because he's training really well, but he's not been in great form, so hasn't been in the side recently. Cardwell up front because of Dacker's, of course, being ineligible. And then the big change really is in the middle. We've got Morehouse coming in place of the usual starter Jack Earing. He's very injury prone. He's played 2 games already this week, and I just want to keep him looked after. Again, it gives us an opportunity to give a young man a game who's training well, developing well, and always plays well when he's in the team. We also bring in a sub-keeper as we promised to him and Southampton. So this is our 11 in full today. It is right between the sticks. Kingdom, Parker and Lomas the back 3. I think probably for the first time in that combination. Scott Morris and Ferry are the wing-backs with Morehouse and Titchmarsh in the middle. And then Mooney and Hilton of Cardwell up front, who has ended his unhappiness, is flying back in form, will hopefully be firing us to promotion. It's been a brilliant unbeaten run that's lasted just over 3 months now, but will it come to an end at League One opposition? Let's go and get into it and find out. We've got a big bench if we need it, but hopefully these boys can deliver. Well, 5 changes for this very strong Salford City team, and going back to our Lisbon Distillery save last year, you can see the Northern Irish vibes, can't you? Henry Jeffcott was an international for us there. Amari Kellyman was a star in the Irish Premiership, and they are among many involved in this squad. Maybe predictable with Wade Elliott as manager. Let's go and get through though and tell the lads to impress us. How? How is there complacency going into this? You are playing a top half League One side, and it's the goalkeeper again, honestly. I'm going to say, do me proud. The midfielder Titchmarsh has recovered. I'm fine with that. But Ollie Wright, honestly, if he has to be first choice for any prolonged period, I think I might start tearing my hair out. Into the first half with our back 3 away tactic. Salford, back-to-back defeats. Maybe we're hitting them in good time. Just seen Stevie Mallon on the bench as well. A legend for us in a head coach a few years ago. Let's see how we get on in this one. Looks a good crowd, which is great for us in terms of gate receipts. But can we produce the display? It might lead us to an even bigger game. Well, a quarter of the game gone. It's been very quiet, and this is the first highlight. Kens, what are you doing? I thought the cross was coming in. It'd be caught by the keeper, and we'd see a Salford counter, but not the case. It's still under pressure. Lomas goes on a run. Cardwell's in. Kens recovers with a very good save, but seriously, what a run from Lomas. What a ball. Maybe playing better off the side there, as Ferry's got a corner kick. In swinger. Plenty of options in the middle. Cardwell will be up, but he can't quite win it, and Kellyman clears. Again, not the best one, only as far as Mooney. We keep the ball, but the highlight ends. It's been an even game so far, and we're maybe showing good signs if we can go up. Don't forget Salford will have been promoted from League 2 in real life. They've started well in their new division as well. But Mooney goes back to Lomas here, and at the moment it's us with the pressure, and us with a very fortuitous goal that, to be fair, has maybe been coming. The barrage of set pieces and attacking play shows. Lomas again in an advanced position after a set piece with a good ball to Scott Morris, and his shot takes a wicked deflection, which puts it in for 1-0, and we go again. Intercepted by Kellyman as we tried to get another shot away. On the edge of the box we were stopped as Cairns clears long. Two big men up front for them. We've got to be careful, but Kingdon does well. Find Scott Morris on the right. I've got to be honest, I am a bit worried about Kingdon. He won't sign a new deal. He's got a 225 grand release clause, I think it is. And I think it's going to get activated in January. He's been magnificent. As Ferry puts the cross in, Cardwell heads over. That was a great chance by his standards. Should have been 2-0. At the moment, we're doing what we did against Cambridge. We're shocking the odds. But now, we've got to hold on, which is what we didn't manage in that game. So far, it's been the perfect away display. And as we edge towards half-time, it is Southend who lead on the road at their League One opposition. Better expected goals, better chances created. So let's keep it up, see if we can get the result. Well, we're going to have a decision to make in a minute because we're struggling a little bit with Harry Cardwell's fitness. Now, we've only got Stewart on the bench because Dackers is unavailable. Lewis Lomas has just picked up a knock as well, and he's the best player on the pitch at the minute. So Ollie Kensdale will come on there. Maybe this highlights our strength in depth. We're bringing on Leighton Stewart and Ollie Kensdale in the National League. We're going to have to change shape a bit. I'm a little bit worried about what this does for us at set pieces, because Leighton Stewart is no aerial threat like Harry Cardwell. Ollie Kensdale's not quite as good as Lomas, but we're still okay at the minute. Hilton again not having the best game, but I'm going to try and leave him on for this one. I will bring on Jack Earing for Morehouse now. We've done our bit, we've given him a start, we've given him 70 minutes, but I want to go back to first choice here and see this out, because a replay would be a bit of a disaster, and throwing it away would be even worse. As we go through to the final 15, when do we make the changes? Do we time waste? Do we slow it down? What do we go about here? Maybe it'll be the wingers that we take off as Ferry puts a corner in. 2-0 would help. Did I say Kensdale was slightly weaker in the air? Apologies, Ollie Kensdale. You are not slightly weaker in the air at all. 2-0. Surely that's the opportunity. And now we are going to make some changes. Mooney is playing well. We're going to take off Hilton, I think. I said I was going to leave him on, but Callum Powell, you can get 10 minutes there. Then we'll make the last one a little bit later on, although it's a Salford corner. There's pending changes, but we don't see the highlight, which is good news for us. Titchmarsh, another who's not had the best game in midfield. And again, I'm now looking to midweek, so he will come off, or Kingdon. I've got no other centre-halves, have I? So it will have to be Harry Titchmarsh off, Noor Hussein on, and we'll play them. I don't really think it matters which way round for now. Hussein's better in a tackle, so I'll play him defensively. We've got 2 minutes plus stoppage time. There's 6 added on. But at the moment, the best I can say is this has been a comfortable day away at a League One club. They've rotated. They've not been at their best. They're fatigued. They're focusing on League One, I'm sure. But what a win away at Salford City. A top half League One side beaten by 2-0. And we are in the FA Cup third round. Look at those defensive performances, by the way. We'll be back on Tuesday night for Oldham away. Probably still the more important game today. We'll also find out who we've got in the third round and whether it's worth showing in the next episode. Well, I think we will definitely be showing the third round of the FA Cup as well, because we have got Queen's Park Rangers, who are bottom of the Championship, who are out of form, but are obviously a big side from 3 divisions above. It's a cracking game for us to get. They've got some really good people at the club. Tommy Elphick is the manager at the minute. They've still got a lot of the originals, the likes of Begovic, Chair, Cook, Field. I mean, it's still a pretty good side from where we are, isn't it? And look, they've even got a couple of heroes from our Bristol City save last year. They've got Badgertich in midfield and they've got Mika Bieref on the bench. That is going to be one hell of a game. That will be part of the next episode. But for now, it's time for the fitness tests ahead of a big game against Oldham Athletic. We've got to try and get closer to QPR in the league pyramid by getting promoted to League 2. And from the position we're in, we've now got an opportunity, albeit Chesterfield are hitting form as well. They won their additional game at the weekend and are now just 2 points behind us in the table. So this is now very important, with the likes of Lomas out, Lewis Page nowhere near fit still, and Luke Matheson maybe not supposed to be in played. We've got to try and look after people, and we've got to try and stay unbeaten. It's the type of away match at the minute that, a bit like Yeovil in the last episode and Halifax just before, I'll take a point if we can get it. But there is some big news on the contractual front as well. We got a bit of a pop-up message today saying that Southend were potentially going to lose Jack Morehouse to the likes of Sutton, potentially even Rotherham or West Brom, who are wanting him as well. So we have acted quick, and we've got even better news on that front, because as well as offering him a new deal, I tried Jack Kingdon just to see, and he's accepting one as well. Yes, we'll have to double his wage, but at the moment, he can be released for 220. The new contract would make that 350 and ensure that we get a good sum of money for him. We've also offered a new deal to Harry Cardwell, who has ended his unhappiness and is now ready to play for the club. He's playing well, he's scoring goals, and we've got to try and keep him. So all in all, things looking very good at the minute. But let's go to Oldham and see if that changes, because as soon as this unbeaten run ends, you know there's a risk of something going wrong. Let's see what team we can put out today. It will be the back three again. It will be a more defensive shape. More Northern Irish vibes. Barry Bagley, who we had in that lifting spirit save, is there as well. But they've got quality throughout the side. So let's get our 11 picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, a few fitness decisions and gambles to make, and we have had to adjust our bench a little bit because of it. So let's look at the news first. Lewis Lomas is not fit. We've also got Lewis Page, who's out for ages yet. And then going into the starting lineup, we've got Matheson, who's probably half fit, and Kingdon, who is a little bit tired, but albeit with not the biggest match load. So I'm looking ahead to the weekend where we're at home to bottom half Fylde. We should be playing 4-4-2. We can give him a rest then and play either Parker, Kensdale or Lomas. So what we're going to do for now is play Kingdon from the start and play Matheson from the start. That means we have to get both Harry Taylor as the only other fit defender at the club and Gus Scott Morris on the bench. So that means no place for the likes of Powell as an attacking winger or for Dackers as a backup target man. We're sticking with the 5 that we've picked, and Harry Taylor has been riddled with injuries this year. So hopefully if he does have to come on, he can get himself through this one. For now though, it's about trying to keep the unbeaten run going, keep progressing as a football club. And this is the side I've picked to do it. We've got Ndeng and D back between the sticks. Kingdon and Parker are now joined by substitute goal-scoring hero Kensdale at the back. Perry is joined by Matheson in the wing-back area. Earring returns alongside Titchmarsh with Morehouse dropping to the bench. And the front three will stay exactly the same. Hilton's not been in great form, but I'm keeping faith with him. And Dan Mooney will always come good after a while. Into the game at Oldham we go. The former Premier League side, a very good team, and in the top 7 of the National League. At least if we draw, they can't close the gap. Well, 2 changes for Oldham Athletic, and if it gives you a bit of an indicator about the strength of their squad, the substitutes bench includes Kieran Freeman and James Norwood. That's pretty strong. Let's go and get through the dressing room. Tell the lads to impress us. No reaction, but I don't need one, as long as they produce on the pitch. Well, 25 minutes on the clock, and it's been another one of my favourite quiet starts away from home as Crawford finds Moraes. It might change now. Good save from Ndeng and D. First shot on target of the match, I think. And our goalkeeper is forced into a good save. But you're going to expect that a couple of times away from home. He makes another routine one from the corner. But Oldham showing a threat. They're a good side. They've got physicality as well as their quality. And they're always going to be a threat from these situations as Parker heads away. Only as far as Kitchen. He finds Mendy on the shot. That's a great goal. Jacob Mendy in the corner, the former Boreham Wood and Wrexham man. And Deng and D beaten at the 3rd attempt. I was going to say a minute before, with Kingdon tired and with Lomas out, what can you expect? What you can't expect is an injury to Harry Cardwell. And now with no target man on the bench because of the defensive fatigue, we're going to have to change the way we play. We're going advance forward with Leighton Stewart. He's the best striker on paper at the club, no doubt about that. But it's not ideal for the way we're playing. So let's encourage the lads. It looks like this might be the game that finally goes against us. And we're suffering because of that brilliant FA Cup win. It's a long ball forward, which again, we've not really got an aerial threat to deal with. Wide it goes. Mooney does really well there. Back to Earring. And we start again with Kensdale, who finds Ferry. Inside to Titchmarsh. Carries it to the centre circle. Ball wide is under hit to Hilton. Dodgy pass back to Parker. We get away with it, and Kingdon is there. Finds Matheson. Has an overlap, but just goes inside. We're keeping the ball all right here. We just need to find the breakthrough, but at the moment, everything's a bit in front of Oldham. Titchmarsh finds Kingdon. Who's going to flick the switch? Hilton's got Matheson down the line. Goes back again. My thought is it's a long highlight. Something has to happen. Earring releases Mooney. Brilliant play. What a goal. What a goal from Southend United. That is magic from start to finish. The build-up, the short, intricate passing, the composure, then the quick switch of play. We'd overloaded them on the right, we got it across to the left, and the finish from Mooney is something else. Weight of pass from Earring perfect, and now we've got a corner on the stroke of half-time. Hilton to the back post, headed away to Matheson. Leighton Stewart picks it up. Oh, just over. That would have been magic, wouldn't it? Kingdon is now knackered as we reach half-time. But at 1-1, we're back in the game. And while we haven't offered a lot in this game, that goal to equalise is an absolute thing of beauty. It is the type of goal we all dream of scoring as managers. As Hitchens got a throw on the left, let's make it worthwhile. Moraes brings it down for him again. Camera keeps zooming out for some reason. Hitchin gets it on the left to Bagley. Still fancy Oldham as favourites here. Earing in, it's a penalty. Oh, it's so soft. Clattered him. Tell you what, the animations need some work if that's a clattering. Moraes will step up against Dundee. He's clapping his hands. He's doing a dance. Oh, he saves it. And Dundee, you absolute legend, son. He has been magnificent today. How he's got a 6.7, I don't know. He's had a great season so far. But we've got to get this clear yet. There's two on the edge of the box as Green goes back. Great run in to defend there. Comley is forced backwards. That's great pressing. Who are you? Mooney? No, number 15. Who's number 15? We haven't got one. Oh, it's Leighton Stewart. He's doing really well. Bagley gets it down the left to Kitchen. The danger still isn't gone. Takes on his man. Gets the ball into Bagley. Across the box. And Moraes puts it wide. And Engendy, take a bow, son. Brilliant penalty save. And we stay at 1-1 with half an hour to go. But at some point here, we're going to have to make a decision because there's a few players not playing well. And there's a few players very tired. So with 20 to go, this is what we're going to do. We're going to replace Kingdon with Harry Taylor. It's the only option we've got. And I want to take Hilton or Ferry off because both are struggling. Given what we've got on the bench, I'm going to go for Haynes for Ferry. He's a more defensive-minded player. And in fact, I might even go more defensive than that. I could put Mooney on the right, but he's playing well. No, we're going to stick with that. 3 changes made now. We've got 20 minutes to go. We're clinging on for a point as it stands. And I'd be really grateful if we could get one because it's not been a vintage performance. We've had troubles with injuries, fatigue and a lot. If we can get something from the game, it'd be great. As Parker plays Titchmarsh, back to Ndee. Currently the hero with the penalty save. Now might be the villain with that pass out. Oh, and dang Ndee, you've ruined it. What a moment. What a moment to ruin it. You were the hero. You'd done everything right. And then in the 80th minute, you throw it away. Oh, what a time for it. Can we come back again as Erin finds Hilton? There's one thing we've got in this team, it's belief. It's a never say die attitude, but we've not got fitness at the moment. We've not really got form as Hilton tries to make something happen down the right. He's had a stinker, but that's a good cross. Stewart's up. Penalty given. The referee's bailed us out again. Who's the best taker at the club? At the moment, it's Sonny Hilton, and I'm petrified of that. Who do I bring in? Who takes the penalty? I'm going to leave it to chance because none of them are good takers. It will be Sonny Hilton, I think. He's had an absolutely awful game. He's the worst player on the pitch. He's knackered, but he did put the cross in to set up the corner, or the penalty even. And he's missed the penalty. Why did I not put it to someone in form? Oh, I've only got myself to blame there. Haynes gets the ball in from the corner. It's an in-swinger. Parker's up at the back post. Almost didn't matter. Oh, those are the types of decisions that cost you. The unbeaten run could have been preserved. But I didn't change the penalty taker. I didn't have the bottle to take it off the best one. And it's cost me. A 2-1 defeat at Oldham is our first defeat in 3.5 months. Maybe worth it financially because of the FA Cup result. But it tightens up the top of the division a bit, doesn't it? 6 points separate Southend and Oldham. Altrincham have lost again. They're dropping like a stone. But Oldham and Hartlepool are finding form. Chesterfield are flying. This is going to be a big old race at the top. But we said we wanted to be in that group of 5 that are fighting for it. And we are. We've got to be pleased with that. Let's go and see when we're going to be back. Well, I think the good news, if we can take any from that game, is that Harry Cardwell is only out for 2 weeks, and I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Parker has got a fitness concern. He's been playing loads of games at international level. We'll try and look after him a bit soon. And we lose after 17 games undefeated. But what a run that is in the National League. We've got a tough run of fixtures coming up, but you all know what we're going to be back for now. We have got Queen's Park Rangers away from home in a third round of the FA Cup. Can they stay out of form? And then can we shock them with a team that's got momentum? Or will it have by then, after our first defeat in 17? Eastleigh away is the game after, which of course looks pretty tricky on paper as well. And we've also got to bear in mind that at that stage, we could have the January transfer window open for EFL clubs. And if our new boys don't agree contracts, or even if they do, there might well be some interest in them. So we're going to be back at the start of January, but can we bounce back from our first defeat in ages? It should have been a draw. I'm gutted with myself for not changing the taker. But you live and learn from these mistakes. That's why we're managing in the 5th tier and not the top one. If you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, and you did enjoy that brilliant FA Cup win at Salford at least, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. When you look at that top of the table though, if you thought this season was going to be easy, you are very much mistaken. Hartlepool and Chesterfield away to come this month as well. We could well be losing some ground if we don't get back in form. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we can stay top and whether we can shock championship opposition in the FA Cup, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be keeping with the double headers for the rest of this week, so we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 11:30. In the meantime though, we're back later today with the head coach, transfer deadline day with our director of football there. If you've missed any of that series so far, you can find it up in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and some of our favourite FM23 stories. But we're going to be back here at the same time tomorrow as we face championship opposition for the first time. QPR v Southend United. Hopefully it'll be a league fixture again in a few seasons' time.